In my opinion, this was a great Usopp chapter. What's going on at the end between Ryoma and Zoro we're going to see in the next chapter, hopefully, but this chapter, for me, was all about Usopp.
One Piece, Chapter 466, Conclusion.
Well, hello, my brothers and sisters and fellow One Piece fans of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, and I'm here to bring you, after a short break, another review on a wonderful and exciting chapter of One Piece. Now, obviously, after the events of the last chapter, which focused almost primarily on what was going on between Perona and Usopp, I really liked just how the whole chapter played out, because for me, Usopp, right now it seems like when he goes and puts on the Sniper King mask, that is his way of being able to hide behind something, but also to be able to kind of, get some courage and have the balls to do some things that he normally wouldn't say or do or whatever. So that was nice. You kind of seen him flip the switch and put that mask on in the last chapter. And then obviously kind of taking it to a next level, being able to figure things out, ultimately empowering him. Oda did such a great job of this character that in a lot of ways he'll tear down but then bring back up. And this is a character that, again, has very little to no self-confidence and a lot of times physically cannot add much to the crew, right? But now he's going and facing off against, one of, Gecko Moria's three, I guess, lieutenants or generals or whatever you want to call them, underlings. And doing so in a way that Oda empowered him, that he's the only one that can combat Perona and her negative hollow ghost and everything else. And it was funny how it was initially done with, because he's so pessimistic and negative and everything else and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it was really, for me, it's been something that's kind of brought him up and showed that he has some value and some worth, but it was done in a very clever and articulated way that I liked. So this chapter, though, the first half of it is really, it's the conclusion of the fight between Usopp and Perona, and I thought it was done very well. Usopp wound up finding out that she was coming at him with basically just like her spirit or her soul or a projection or whatever, and wound up going and blowing apart the piece of this wall and saw her actual kind of like still sleeping, whatever, in a trance state type body, her physical body, on this bed behind this wall. So he basically goes and deduces that, hey, listen, you wound up going at some point or another, you were a physical being when we started fighting, but at some point you realized that it was going to be cool to pull a switcheroo on me, and that then you could go and fuck with me from this ethereal type state. She says, no, that's, you don't get it. That's partially true. But the thing is that I'm not just a projection. Like, it's my actual soul that is able to leave my body at will. So it still has my, thought, appearance, all those type of things that come with the person. Not just an astral projection of me, right? Anyway, doesn't matter to him either way. So he's like, the point is if I take out your physical body, that's going to wind up taking you out as well. So he goes and he charges up and fires explosive something, fires it, it hits, and he's like, and she's like, oh, you missed me, huh? And it was a dud, blah, 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 and this and that, right? And I'm thinking, oh, shit, fucking Usopp, man. Back to the same old shit. She even makes mention, though, of what I just brought up earlier at the beginning of this video, in that Usopp goes, she's like, he put it on the mask, he's like a different person now, right? He's all of a sudden got all this confidence and everything else, and he's not just the king of pessimism, like he was at the beginning of the fight. Now it's like he's this tactile, responsive, person that is this thinking, acting, feeling member of the team, that's obviously combating her. So he winds up going, there's some back and forth between the two, which I thought was kind of cool. She winds up trying to attack him with this supersized negative hollow ghost and just a number of different things like that. Eventually what winds up happening is this huge rhino-like thing called something Gallant comes in and goes to attack him. She's like, oh, good, just in time, right? Usopp wound up actually going, and in one of his impact dials that he had in his hand, he was able to actually go and store and pull in the explosive force of an explosion she tried to hit him with. I think he was originally intending to use it with her, but winds up at the last minute being able to go and hit this rhinoceros-like creature with it, knocks him the fuck out, puts him back. He's over there thinking, God, I feel like my arm's going to break. And she's thinking, this is the psychological warfare portion of the chapter. She's like, holy shit, what's going on with this guy? Is he really that strong, right? So it's all about mentality, and it's all about acting as if, right? There's many times that I go into a situation that I may not be fully aware of what's going on, but I act as if I do, right? And a lot of times that will help to carry you through, and this is a perfect example of that, right? she feels like he's just so indomitably strong and everything else now that she misjudged him, right? He then goes and pulls out the Usopp, and it's not a 5-ton hammer anymore like it was back in Alabasta with Mr. 4. No, it's a 10-ton hammer now, right? We all know it's a goddamn balloon with a couple of frying pans that winds up, So, but anyway, besides the point, he goes and comes at her with the final blow after he goes and winds up hitting her with this star. The star that he hit before that was a dud is actually a sticky star. It kept her in place so she couldn't move. We find that out. He winds up firing this star at her that has cockroaches in it, so now she's creeped out with cockroaches crawling over. Oh, get them off. They're crawling up into me. Oh, one bit my nipple, whatever, right? He comes at her with the hammer and hits her with this thing, which is just a glorified fucking balloon. Even he says that. She's knocked the fuck out, and I don't know if it was that she was scared and knocked out or what, but it was funny because he's like, you're supposed to be this formidable opponent. You're supposed to be this, one of the heads of this island, one of the leaders, right? And you were taken out by some cockroaches and a balloon, right? But again, it's that mentality of acting as if. When people believe what people perceive and believe, just like the shit with me from a few months ago, there's many that believed and perceived something that was told to them. You think it's the truth. You wind up going to things that are told to you by someone that you trust or you like or you care about. You many times just take that at face value and you feel that that's the truth. So in this case, the exact same thing. He comes at her with what she perceives to be this 10-ton hammer. These cockroaches creeped her out and winds up really just psyching her out. It was just absolutely wonderfully done. The second half of the chapter was told in kind of an ass-backwards fashion. We wind up seeing what looks like Zoro being devastated and taken out, and then we get by Ryuma, and then the samurai, which we kind of been left hanging a couple of chapters ago with that, and then the last several pages are 5 minutes earlier, and it's them talking shit to each other. It's Zoro talking about how he uses 3 sword style, but one of his swords is broken, blah, blah. Ryuma makes fun of him and says, what is that, some kind of circus trick? And Zoro's like, I wish I had it so I could teach you a lesson. It's basically a whose dick is bigger type of scenario. They should just pull out a couple of plates, flip them on there, get the measuring tape out, and see whose dick is actually bigger. Because that's what it is, And then they start kind of going and clashing and going into it, and, and Ryuma winds up using this move that's similar to like a gun, that he winds up using that's so fast on him and just knocks Zoro back. So I don't know exactly what's going on with that. I know that it looked like right after we got done with the whole fight between Perona and Usopp, it looked like it went to, Zoro and like he was just knocked the fuck out and like he had been beaten. And then it went to the 5 minutes before. It's now showing us the fight. And I'm sure the next chapter, or one of the next chapters, is probably going to focus on that. So all in all, very good stuff. My chapter question for you, though, brothers and sisters, is, again, what are your thoughts on Usopp and just his way of being able to go and really psych out Perona? I guess that's what it is. Being able to win with his wit and being very clever and acting as if. Leave your answer to that question in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will look forward to catching all of you in the next one, Nation.
Thanks for watching, and remember to check out my other channels and follow me on Facebook and Twitter as well.